Hello Taurus, this is Victoria and your May horoscope. Finally, I'm here, we're here. Thank you for being patient with me, guys. Again, I've been MIA for a few days, but there we go, I'm back. It's a big transition for me, and sometimes I need to acknowledge it even to myself. I need to practice what I preach, and so I took my sweet time to re-establish myself in my new space, meet some neighbors, kind of explore the neighborhood, see what I want to do at my place to make it more of a home, and all this kind of stuff that maybe I've been putting off, or just running and rushing with life. But I needed to acknowledge all this and that it's a big change for me. So after being on the road for like 10 months, whether I like to admit it or not, it's true. But here we are. Happy birthday, Taurus, with all that said. I'm a Taurus baby myself, so yes, it is. We are in that season. We are well into Taurus season. Remember that this readings are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurus. So in case you're watching this specific one for the Sun, if your Sun is in Taurus, meaning that your birthday is during Taurus season, I highly recommend watching videos for other placements as well. This is the first reading I'm doing for May because, I'm always starting with a sign that is currently what currently the Sun is, and the Sun is in Taurus, so that's what we're doing. But eventually, obviously, I'll go around all of the zodiac signs. I do plan to do it in the next 3-4 days. And then we'll have more things to talk about and more things to look at. We just had full moon in Scorpio, which was very powerful. I did a reading about that, and there are messages for each zodiac sign. So if you missed it, please check it out. It happened a week ago, but the energy is so strong, and at the very least, it will give you some context of what has been happening with you for the last 10 days, so like within the last 10 days. It gives you that background, which means that in about a week from now, we're gonna have a new moon, and that's gonna be new moon in Taurus, and we'll talk about that more. I love doing readings for specific lunation events. We also just had the 5-5 portal, the 5th of May, 5th day, 5th month. And 5 is about change. So it's also about, this time is about acknowledging that as seasons are changing, phases of your life are changing, you are changing as well. And that means that there are moments and maybe even times of discomfort, times of when you need to readjust again, especially for Taurus. We like our routine, we like, things done a certain way. Once we set up our process and we get rolling with it, we like it to stay that way. So when one or more factors change and that kind of throws it out of the window, it can be nerve-wracking, it can be very stressful. So just acknowledge that this is part of the change. It's bringing in new energy, and it's encouraging you to revisit what you've been doing. Maybe a lot of the things have been happening on autopilot, but now you get this opportunity to take a fresh look and see whether you even want to continue things to flow this way, or you want to do something else with your time, with your resources in general. I will start with a quick oracle message. I have all of my decks back. That's probably the best news for everyone on my channel when it comes to my move and settling in a new place, that I unpacked my decks. I also have a few new beautiful decks that I acquired recently, which I've been doing readings with. By the way, the full moon in Scorpio reading is done with Ukrainian tarot, which is my very last deck that I got. I got it for myself as a birthday present, and it's absolutely incredible with its artwork. So much so that for this month I decided to go with other decks because I'm still getting to know the deck, and I want to spend a little more time with it for doing readings, personal readings for myself, and maybe kind of like day-to-day updates, so that it's more, I'm more familiar with its artwork and how it represents different concepts that are maybe already set for me in my ways as a Taurus, But another thing that a lot of you know about me is I'm also a dancer. So this cosmic dancer, this is actually also a birthday present, but from last year. And it's an absolutely beautiful deck. So let's start with this message and then we'll move to tarot. As always, we'll be looking at, that's something I'm supposed to say at the beginning, but people who were not interested have already left. That's okay. We're gonna take a look at your personal space and love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance on how to navigate the energies of the months of May. At the end, I'll pull some messages from your person of interest to yourself. All right, what does Taurus need to know about the energy of May? Collaborate. Ooh, I like this. You don't need to solve all your problems by yourself. You don't need to plan your child's birthday party on your own. You don't need to be the one who plans summer vacation for the whole family, right? And maybe you're comfortable doing that. And hear me out on this. Even if you're complaining about it and somebody sitting next to you right now can confirm, like, yep. There's usually, we stick to some to specific processes, events, activities, relationships, because they're familiar to us and we're getting something out of it. Even that comfort that I know what to expect is already a payback. You know, in my examples, if you're planning things by yourself or you're solving a problem by yourself, it's almost like you have comfort in knowing that A, you've done your best, and B, that this is going to be the best result because you are on the case, right? Maybe also that you don't have to negotiate with others, but this says collaborate. And you'll be surprised sometimes that, you know, how much more you can achieve or how well people actually can do those things that you thought nobody else can do but you. All right. For the main reading, I'm going to be using the Good Tarot. It's kind of ethereal, but ethereal is the word. But I missed it, so let me just have this moment too with my decks now that I have all of them back. And then I have Celtic deck for the messages from your person. And if you know what that deck is like. It's magical. All right, so Taurus, for your personal space and love life, you have the Wheel of Fortune, or the Fortune Wheel in this case. This is Sagittarian energy. You could be dealing with a Sag, of course. Then you have Two of Fire. Look at this beautiful. That's another one of like intimate connection to me. And we'll speak about it in a moment. But look at that. This, in a way, collaboration between this little kid and the giraffe. No, it's not a little kid. It's a girl. Maybe not even that little. It's just that she's riding a giraffe. So it feels that way. And finally, Seven of Fire. Unicorn. Interesting. Remember that you are a unicorn. You know, they have this saying, even if you don't believe in unicorns, unicorns believe in you. And look at that, I even have the color palette of unicorns today. There's something there. I don't know who had to hear this, but there you go, people. All right, so for your workspace, you have 10 of Earth, pretty much on the nose, but never hurts to hear some good news. Ace of Water, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. And 8 of Fire. Work, baby. Although again, a little bit of magical vibe in this deck. And finally, the advice from the universe. The Messenger of Earth, which is the Knight of Pentacles in the regular tarot. 8 of Air. And 8 of Water. Look at that, we have 3 8s, I think. What are we missing? 8 of Earth? Yes, 8 of Earth, but working hard. Interesting. Bottom of the deck is the Call, or the Judgment card. In this deck, it's called the Call. It's like the call doesn't necessarily need to shock your system, although it is Scorpionic energy, so it could do that, right? It's like the moment of truth that suddenly you're like, wow, I wasn't dreaming that. Actually, this could be a viable, I don't know, career, or me and this person can actually be great together. Even though on the surface it may not look like that, but maybe those things are just not that important. There's something much deeper here that's important, right? But definitely take it as that angelic message, as that guidance from your guides, from your angels, whatever, from the higher power, whatever your belief system is around this. That it's there to guide you, it's there to help you make better decisions now with the knowledge that you have, that this is not a coincidence, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay, only one major arcana in this one, by the way, which tells me that a lot of what's happening right now is up to you to design and decide and tell the universe how you want your life to develop, to expand, what kind of, adventures are you looking for, what do you want to do, right? Sorry guys, there's a hair somewhere on my face and it's bothering me. Where the way I can relate to it personally, because here, another Taurus in front of you. For instance, I have at least for the last few years, my personal growth, my spiritual path has opened so many different opportunities and doors, and not even so much doors, but at least ideas and things that I'm excited about, which on its own is a win, right? There's so many people who don't know what they want to do, don't know what their passion is. And I'm passionate about so many things, and I've been in the process of accepting all of this, right? Not telling myself with this serious, face of no, this is not good for you, this is not the time, who do you think you are? No, I'm accepting it all, I'm saying thank you, and I'm taking it in. But on the other hand, it's like this 7 of cups card, was all this, and I'm immediately picturing the night sky with the stars. There's this limitless opportunities all around me. This is attractive, that is attractive, I love this, I want to collab with a person here. And it's I can't really do all of this, right? Which creates and can often create an overwhelm. So then there is a new skill that's coming in to kind of how do I lovingly and compassionately decide what is the highest priority for me right now. Out of all of these things, where do I want to put my resources now? Which, of course, is most obvious things are time and energy, right? I have limited amounts of time. So what do I want to do? Because I won't be able to do 20 things, let's be honest, right? Impossible technically. I might take on the challenge, might have taken it a few years ago. Now, no thank you. But also other resources, because then it comes to, I also need to invest money. Maybe I also need other people involved here to make it work. Maybe I need to physically go somewhere, travel, right? And there will be more activities involved. So it becomes, and I'm putting myself out there in the unknown, into the uncomfortable situation. There's so much to it, so much more than just thinking how do I spend my time, right? And how do you decide that? Yeah, well, where did we start with this? But yeah, anyways, the opportunities are limitless, but how do you decide then, right? And I'm hearing for you now, we're closing the circle with my train of thought, is that the other person or people can actually help guide you on this way right now at this time, right? So again, you don't need to solve everything on your own, but also you don't even need to decide on your own, right? Things are gonna be coming in, and that's the wheel of fortune. Oh yeah, there we go. That's where it started, that you have minor arcana. So you're supposed to tell the universe how you want to decide and design your future. What does happiness and success look like? But also, with the Wheel of Fortune being the major arcana, there will be experiences that will come into your life that will be fated, that are important for you to follow. There will be people that will talk to you about something that you never thought about doing, never pictured yourself even close to that. But the person will talk to you about it and you immediately will say, yes, let's do it. Let's go. When do we leave? Right? So just be open to that information coming in. Remember that the unicorns believe in you and that intimate connection sometimes is very quiet, is very unpretentious, right? You never know where this person is gonna come from, what they're gonna look like, which language they're gonna speak, and maybe some of the stuff that they're gonna bring to the table is even gonna trigger you. But it's only so that you can see what truly matters, right? That's that contrast. Oof, beautiful. And by the way, this intimate connection, I'm talking about emotional intimacy, but it doesn't mean that it cannot be, your life partner, your romantic partner. So take it how it resonates for you. This is a collective reading. Okay, this is getting a little long, but I had a break from the reading, so I had to get it out. I don't even have the words. That's how bad it is, because the messages keep coming and I'm like on the fly trying to find the words to give them to you guys. Speaking of work, 10 of Earth, Ace of Water, and 8 of Fire. It's like, where is your passion taking you? And what does the financial success represent for you? It can also be like a public status of some sort, like maybe getting a certain promotion, even if you are like a social influencer, like an online influencer, maybe a certain amount of followers or subscribers, right? It doesn't have to be, financially like amount of money in a bank account, but of course that is included as well. What does it mean to you about yourself, about your life? What does it represent? Why is this important? Why is this valuable? Or maybe you have been getting blessings and you haven't expressed gratitude and you haven't connected that to your heart, and what kind of opportunities it brings to you, how much freedom you feel, how much more can you explore, how much easier it is to communicate into the world. What is it that you want? Especially with Taurus powers, right? We are the rulers of the second house by default, and that's the house of money and also connections, right? So it's kind of our, what's it called? Will? Anyway, that's our comfort zone, and that's where we're the experts, right? But it is about nuances that help us navigate that. And not to mention that a lot of times financial success can be stigmatized, connected to something not so good, not so kind, being promoted. Maybe you are feeling bad because somebody else got passed on for that promotion, right? And you got it and you see that person is devastated and you feel bad, instead of acknowledging how far you've come, how much you've worked for it, and enjoying it fully. So that's really what this is about, like to connect the outward abundance with your heart space, right? And show up in that gratitude moment and acknowledge, what does it mean to me? What kind of opportunities is it opening up? Because money is currency, it's energy, and regardless of whether we want to admit it or not, it does give us certain opportunities in life. It does bring certain magic to it. Finally, message from the universe. Messenger of Earth, obviously the message. 8 of Air, 8 of Water. Right, so there is certain distress that may come up for you during this time, mostly because it's a season of change. Things are falling off that aren't working for you. Some things just feel so much outside of your comfort zone that you may be driving yourself crazy, thinking, how am I even here? Or feeling like a victim, or just wanting to escape it, honestly, right? It doesn't have to look like you're struggling or suffering, right? But we all have our coping mechanisms. And of course, it's a more personalized message, and I don't want to go too much into it, but it's a big part of doing inner work in general, acknowledging what your coping mechanisms are that are not necessarily the healthiest, but that you tend to go to when you feel, overwhelmed, insecure, angry, like all of these triggers come up. What do you do? How do you deal with them? So at a certain point, you won't necessarily be able to do that anymore. Or you're supposed to zoom out of that context and see how you can rise above it, right? And stop going through the same cycles and break the cycle and jump to a different timeline, right? Don't think that you're out of time. You have all the time you need. And you will have all the resources you need that you may think that you're missing right now, right? But you need to get very clear on what is it that you want to create, right? And then the resources and the means are gonna start arriving. Not necessarily upfront, so you'll still need to reconfirm your intention and your faith in this, but they will at the right time. Okay, last but not least, we're at 20 minutes already, wow. Message for Taurus from their person of interest. Okay, got something. Page of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and Queen of Cups. Wow. Honestly, to me, this is also about collaboration. It's like a person is actually saying they love spending time with you, they love creating with you. You make them feel seen, and they want to do more stuff together, right? So they could be actually excited about a specific project or a specific trip, something that they had on their mind, maybe were a little shy to bring up. Even this way, they are still excited that you could be doing that together, right? They just may be not as good or not as comfortable talking about it for whatever reason, right? But know that even if they're bringing up and you do have like a denial reaction, or just like saying no, this is not gonna happen, at the very least acknowledge their excitement, their passion, and their desire to share that special trip or that special, whatever experience, journey with you as the person they feel closest to. Okay, I hope this was good for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And of course, I'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Until then,